Once, we posted every lunch, every selfie, every vacation, publicly, loudly, for everyone to see. The digital town square was a chaotic, vibrant bazaar of shared moments. But listen closely. Can you hear that the sound of the internet is changing? It's getting quieter. Now the glow of a phone screen is more likely to illuminate a private story shared with just 10 people. The most honest thoughts are typed into an alternate account with a locked profile. Social media has gone antisocial. What happened to the social part of social media? This isn't about shaming anyone's digital habits. It's about exploring a fascinating cultural paradox. Welcome to Silent Mode, the rise of antisocial social media. Like and subscribe to GENSHIFT. If you've ever deleted a post 2 minutes after uploading it, we get it. This episode is for the quiet ones online, the ones who know the digital whispers. The rise of the close circle intimacy over influence. In a world of infinite feeds and performative broadcasting, the most valuable social currency is shifting. It is no longer about reach, it is about intimacy. We are witnessing a deliberate large-scale retreat into smaller, safer digital circles. This isn't about leaving social media, it's about building walled gardens within it. The most visible evidence of this is the widespread adoption of features like Instagram's Close Friends story. The act of curating a close friends list has become a modern social ritual, a careful deliberation of who truly gets your unfiltered thoughts versus who only gets the highlight reel. But this goes deeper. We see the proliferation of Finstas, or fake Instagrams. These secondary private accounts act as a digital backstage to the polished public-facing Rinsta, or real Instagram. The Rinsta is the resume, the carefully constructed public persona. The Finsta is the lounge where you can be vulnerable, post unflattering photos, and share inside jokes with a trusted few. Beyond Instagram, entire communities are migrating from open forums to closed Discord servers and encrypted group chats where context is shared and norms are understood. This retreat is a direct response to a phenomenon sociologists call context collapse. On a public feed, a single post is broadcast to multiple, often conflicting audiences at once: your boss, your grandmother, your college friends, and that person you met once at a party. This forces us into a generic, sanitized performance. Private circles solve this. They allow users to reestablish context and speak authentically to a specific trusted group. This search for authenticity is a reaction to the increasing professionalization of our main feeds, which often feel less like a community and more like a personalized magazine filled with ads and influencers. In these quieter spaces, users are seeking genuine intimacy. As MIT sociologist Sherry Turkle has argued for years, technology designed for connection can paradoxically foster a profound sense of being connected but alone. The creation of these close circles is a fundamentally human adaptation, an attempt to find real empathy in digital spaces that were not always designed for it. The generational dynamics of this shift are telling. For Gen Z, who are digital natives, this isn't a retreat. It's the default mode for authentic interaction. They grew up with the pressure of a permanent public digital footprint, so creating private spaces is an intuitive act of self-preservation and identity formation. Millennials, as digital adapters, remember an earlier, more open internet. For them, these private circles are often a conscious escape from the professional and familial pressures that now dominate their public feeds, a way to reclaim the casual, low-stakes sharing of the early web. They are adapting to a norm that Gen Z built. But these private circles are just one layer of the retreat. What about those who still post to the main feed, but then simply vanish? That brings us to the art of posting and ghosting. Post and ghost expression without expectation. There's a new etiquette taking hold, a behavior we can call post and ghost. It's the act of sharing content, a photo, a thought, a song, and then deliberately disengaging. You post and then you mute your own notifications. You share and then you avoid the comment section entirely. Sometimes you might even delete the post a few hours later. The goal is self-expression, not validation. This behavior manifests in subtle ways. It's the late-night photo dump to an Instagram story with no caption, a fleeting archive that vanishes in 24 hours. It's posting a cryptic song lyric or a deeply personal reflection, and then immediately enabling Do Not Disturb mode on your phone. It can even be the petty post, an indirect message aimed at a specific person that is deleted the next morning once its emotional purpose, a release of frustration, has been served. This is about using the platform as a temporary emotional release valve, not as a forum for discussion. So the psychological drivers are powerful. This behavior is a rebellion against the validation loop that powers the attention economy. When we receive likes and comments, our brain's reward system releases dopamine, creating a compulsion to keep checking for more reinforcement. Posting and ghosting intentionally short-circuits this feedback loop. It separates the act of expression from the need for approval, reclaiming autonomy from the algorithm's addictive design. It's also a potent form of anxiety reduction. The moments after posting can be incredibly stressful, waiting for the first like, worrying about judgment, fearing a post might flop. Disengaging immediately is a coping mechanism to avoid this anxiety and the potential blow to self-esteem. This trend reveals a fundamental shift in purpose. A post is not always an invitation to communicate. Sometimes it is simply the act of externalizing an internal state. It is the digital equivalent of shouting into the void, but a void you've curated yourself. For Gen Z, who have lived their entire lives with their emotions and identities on public display, this is a tool for emotional regulation. It's a way to feel seen, but on their own terms without being consumed by the audience's reaction. For millennials, often driven by a deep sense of digital fatigue, it can be an act of exhaustion. They share a life update without committing to the emotional labor of replying to dozens of comments. It's a quiet assertion of a right to broadcast without the obligation to engage. Alt accounts and anonymous presence, fragmented identities. For decades, the promise of the internet was a single, unified self. You had one profile, one identity, one personal brand. Today, that idea feels laughably outdated. We are in the era of the fragmented self, where identity is strategically managed across multiple accounts, each serving a distinct purpose. This is more than just having a professional profile on LinkedIn and a personal one on Instagram. We're talking about a sophisticated ecosystem of identities. There is the main account, the polished public brand-safe version of you. Then there is the Finsta, or the private alt, a space for unfiltered thoughts and vulnerability shared only with close friends. Beyond that, there is the niche alt, an account dedicated to a specific hobby like gaming fan culture or art, where you can engage with a community without it being tied to your real-world identity. And finally, there is the truly anonymous presence on platforms like Reddit or X, used for asking sensitive questions or sharing controversial opinions. This behavior is a perfect illustration of the sociologist Erving Goffman's theory of dramaturgy. Goffman described social interaction using the metaphor of a theater. We have a front stage, where we perform for an audience according to social norms, and a backstage, where we can relax and be our unperformed selves. In this model, your main account is the ultimate front stage. Your alt accounts, however, are not necessarily the true backstage that still exists offline. Instead, they are different, more intimate front stages for smaller, more trusted audiences. This allows for what researchers call curated authenticity, a performance of realness, but a performance nonetheless. For Gen Z, whose identity is famously fluid, alt accounts provide a low-stakes laboratory for self-exploration. They can try on different personas, a more political self, a more artistic self, without the permanence or pressure of their main account. Surprisingly, research suggests this fragmentation can be healthy. One 2024 study in computers and human behavior found that for Gen Z, a clear differentiation between their online and offline selves was actually associated with better mental health outcomes, including less depression and higher life satisfaction. The pressure to merge all aspects of your life into one authentic brand is, it turns out, more stressful than strategically managing multiple selves. Millennials, on the other hand, were raised on the early Facebook-era pressure to create a single unified personal brand for potential employers to scrutinize. For them, adopting alt accounts is often more about reclaiming privacy and escaping the rigid identity they were told to build. It's a reaction against a standard they helped create, now seeking the freedom that Gen Z considers a birthright. We've explored the quiet rebels of the feed, but where do you draw the line? Have you ever posted to close friends and instantly muted your notifications just for the vibe? Drop a emoji. If you've been there, or a emoji, if you've already mastered the art of ghosting your own feed. We want to hear your quiet confessions. Reclaiming digital boundaries, the power of no. Beyond creating new spaces and new identities, there is a quieter, more direct rebellion taking place, the conscious act of reclaiming digital boundaries. This isn't about a dramatic week-long digital detox. It's about integrating digital hygiene into daily life, a consistent, deliberate effort to build walls and protect one's attention, privacy, and peace. This movement is visible in a series of small but powerful acts. It's the mass deletion or archiving of years of old posts, a digital decluttering meant to curate one's past and shrink the data footprint available to platforms and people. It's turning off read receipts hiding like counts and disabling active now status indicators. These are not just feature toggles. They are subtle declarations of independence, reducing the social pressure to be constantly available and responsive. It's setting strict app time limits and embracing do not disturb mode, not as an apology, but as a non-negotiable boundary for focus and mental rest. Perhaps most profoundly, it's the conscious choice to not post about an experience, to attend a concert or go on vacation, and prioritize living in the moment over documenting it for an audience. The primary driver is a collective exhaustion with digital life. Studies on technostress and digital fatigue confirm that constant connectivity and information overload are mentally and emotionally draining, leading to burnout. Setting boundaries is a necessary act of self-preservation. This is also the privacy paradox in action. Research shows Gen Z is highly concerned about data privacy, yet they are also the most willing to share data in exchange for personalized experiences. This isn't a contradiction. It's a demand for control. They want to choose what to share and when. Deleting old data is about taking back that control from platforms designed to archive everything forever. Ultimately, these acts are about reclaiming what some thinkers call cognitive sovereignty, the fundamental right to direct your own attention and think without constant algorithmically driven interruption. Here again, the generational approaches differ. Gen Z tends to view digital hygiene as a standard integrated practice, much like brushing their teeth. They are less likely to perform a dramatic detox because these boundaries are often built into their digital lives from the start. Millennials who built their online lives in a more open and less guarded era are more likely to engage in corrective actions like a full digital detox to recover from burnout. Their boundary setting is often a reaction to a problem, while Gen Z's is a preventative measure. Anti-performance culture quiet is the new cool. All of these trends, the retreat to private circles, the ghosting of our own posts, the fragmentation of identity, and the drawing of digital lines in the sand, are culminating in a powerful cultural shift, the rise of an anti-performance culture. This is a growing sentiment that rejects the core premise of the attention economy. It's the radical idea that true status isn't found in going viral, but in being present. That the ultimate flex isn't a perfectly curated feed, but having a life so full you forget to post at all. This ethos is championed by the anti-influencer, a new kind of creator who values imperfection, honesty, and radical transparency over polished aesthetics. It's visible in the rising value of the unposted experience. The choice to go to a beautiful place and simply enjoy it rather than performing that enjoyment for a feed is becoming a quiet symbol of sophistication. It's a move away from performative online debates and viral challenges and toward a more selective, intentional engagement. This was the initial promise of apps like BeReal, which were born from a direct rejection of the curated perfection that defines mainstream platforms. The psychological driver is overwhelmingly performance burnout. The relentless pressure to perform a perfect life, job, and self has taken a significant toll on mental health. Authenticity, even a curated version of it, is now seen as the antidote. There is also a growing resentment of the algorithm. Users are increasingly aware that they are creating free content to feed a machine that profits from their attention and emotional engagement. The anti-performance stance is a form of non-participation, a quiet refusal to dance for the algorithm. In a way, this is a modern, decentralized form of culture, jamming the act of using the tools of a dominant culture to subvert its own values. For Gen Z, a generation highly attuned to inauthentic marketing rejecting performance, is a powerful statement of their values. They are building a new social framework where being real in a small circle is more valuable than being perfect for a crowd. For millennials who pioneered the very influencer and personal branding culture, they now flee this sentiment, is a hard-won lesson. It is a conscious unlearning of the rules they helped write, driven by burnout and a search for a more sustainable and balanced life. What happens when the algorithm is watching, but you stop performing? You might just start living. Conclusion. So where does this leave us? We've seen the retreat into close circles, the rise of post and ghost behavior, the strategic management of fragmented identities, the assertion of digital boundaries, and the quiet rebellion of anti-performance culture. Taken together, these trends paint a clear picture. This is not the end of social media. It is a profound reevaluation of it. We called it social media, but for years it was largely social performance. Now the truly social part, the messy, intimate, authentic connection is happening behind the scenes. It's softer, smaller, and safer. This evolution is a testament to our incredible adaptability, our innate drive to find and protect our humanity in digital spaces that were not always designed for it. This isn't a story of technological despair. It's a quiet revolution led by digitally native Gen Z and adaptable millennials who are actively reshaping the internet to demand a digital life that truly serves them, not the other way around. They are seeking less noise and more meaning, and maybe that's exactly what we needed all along. If this episode made you rethink your digital presence, like and subscribe and tag the one friend who still sends memes, but only to you in a private chat. Help us build a community that values genuine connection online and off.